Let's rewind. My name's Chris, 52, married to Sarah for 28 years. We met in college, her, the ambitious law student with a laugh that could light up a room. Me, the quiet engineering major who couldn't believe she said yes to a date. We were that couple everyone envied, built a life together in Seattle, a cozy house in Fremont, two kids now in college, a dog named Murphy, who's probably the only one still loyal to me. Sarah climbed the ranks at Kellerman and Sons, a prestigious law firm, while I worked as a structural engineer, designing bridges and pretending I wasn't intimidated by her success. We weren't perfect. No marriages. There were fights about money, about her long hours, about my tendency to bottle things up. But we always came back to each other. Date nights at our favorite Italian place, lazy Sundays, watching old movies, inside jokes that made our kids roll their eyes. I thought we were solid, unbreakable. The red flags started about a year ago. Subtle at first. She'd come home later, claiming case prep or client dinners. Her phone was always face down, which was new. She'd laugh it off when I asked, saying, "Chris, you know I'm married to my work." But it wasn't just work. She started dressing differently, sharper, sexier, like she was trying to impress someone. New perfume, too, something musky, not the floral scent I'd bought her for years. I'd ask, "You meeting someone special?" trying to keep it light. She'd just smile and say, "Only you, babe." I wanted to believe her. God, I did. But doubt is like a splinter. It festers. It wasn't the late nights or the perfume that broke me. It was the email. 2 weeks before I found the phone, I got an anonymous message in my work inbox. Subject line, "You deserve to know." Attached were 3 photos. Sarah and some guy, tall, young, sharp suit, holding hands in Gasworks Park. Another of them kissing under a tree, her arms around his neck like she used to hold me. The third was blurry, but it was them in a car, her head on his shoulder. I stared at those photos for hours, my stomach churning. I didn't confront her right away. I couldn't. I kept thinking, maybe it's a mistake. Maybe it's not her. But I knew her silhouette, the way her hair fell over her shoulder. I printed the photos and hid them in my desk, checking them obsessively, like picking at a wound. Then came the phone. That night, after finding it, I scrolled through the texts. They went back months. Hundreds of messages between Sarah and M. Flirty at first, then explicit, things I can't unsee. "Can't wait to feel your hands again," she wrote. "Last night was unreal," he replied with a winking emoji. There were photos too, selfies of them in hotel rooms, her in lingerie I'd never seen. Timestamps showed she was texting him while we were on vacation, while we were eating dinner, while I was sleeping next to her. I felt like I was drowning. My wife, the woman I'd built my life with, was a stranger. I sat on the edge of our bed staring at her sleeping, wondering how she could look so peaceful while tearing me apart. The next few days were a blur. I couldn't eat, couldn't focus at work. I'd sit in my car during lunch breaks, gripping the steering wheel, trying not to cry. I kept replaying our life together, looking for clues. Was it my fault? Was I too boring, too predictable? Had I missed something she needed? I'd always supported her career, her dreams. I'd cooked dinners, driven the kids to soccer, planned anniversaries. Where did I go wrong? I tried to act normal at home, but every time she smiled or touched me, I wanted to scream. I started digging deeper. Checked her credit card statements, $200, dinners at restaurants she never mentioned, hotel charges in Bellevue. I even drove by Kellerman and Sons one night, saw her car parked next to a sleek BMW. I didn't need to see more to know it was his. The worst part? I still loved her. Even as I hated her, I loved her. I'd wake up at 3 a.m., staring at the ceiling, imagining her with him. It wasn't just betrayal, it was humiliation. Like I was the idiot who didn't see it coming. I planned it carefully. Waited for a night when I knew she'd be home early. A Thursday when she usually claimed to be catching up on paperwork. I'd found out from the texts that M was Michael, a 32-year-old associate at her firm. I didn't know if he'd be with her, but I was ready. That evening, she walked in through the garage door, Michael trailing behind her. She looked flawless. Navy blazer, white blouse with that extra button undone, heels clicking on the hardwood. He was younger than I expected, with a nervous energy like he knew he shouldn't be there. "Why are you home early?" she asked, her voice tight. "This is my home," I said, keeping my tone even. My heart was pounding, but I forced a smile. "Let's sit and talk." She hesitated, glancing at Michael. He shifted, looking like he wanted to bolt. I gestured to the living room where I'd set out 3 glasses and a bottle of wine. Drink? I offered, my voice steady, but my hands shaking as I poured. Chris, what's this about? Sarah asked, sitting on the couch, her posture stiff. I pulled out the photos from my pocket, slid them across the coffee table. Care to explain? Her face went pale. Michael froze, his glass halfway to his mouth. Silence stretched, thick and heavy. I could hear the clock ticking in the kitchen. Chris, she started, but her voice cracked. She looked at the photos, then at me, her eyes wide with panic. This isn't what it looks like. Really? I said, pulling out the burner phone and tossing it onto the table. Because it looks like you've been screwing him for months. Michael finally spoke, his voice shaky. Look, man, I didn't mean... Shut up, I snapped, my composure cracking. You don't get to talk. Sarah was crying now, mascara streaking her cheeks. Chris, I'm so sorry. It was a mistake. I was stressed and... A mistake? I laughed, bitter and sharp. You've been lying to my face for months, planning trips, sending him pictures while I'm sleeping next to you. That's not a mistake, Sarah. That's a choice. She reached for my hand, but I pulled away. I still love you, she whispered. I wanted to believe her, but all I could see were those texts, those photos. You don't love me, I said quietly. You love the life I gave you, the house, the kids, the stability, but me, you threw me away. Michael stood, mumbling something about leaving, but I stopped him. Sit down. You're part of this mess. He sat, looking like a kid caught stealing. I turned back to Sarah. Why? Just tell me why. She sobbed, her words spilling out in fragments. I felt invisible. You were always so steady. I needed excitement, something new. Michael made me feel alive again. Alive? I echoed, my voice breaking. I gave you everything, Sarah, everything. The room went quiet again. I could feel the weight of 28 years crumbling. I wanted to scream, to break something, but instead I just sat there numb. I kicked Michael out that night, told Sarah to sleep in the guest room. The next day I called a lawyer. Divorce papers were filed within a week. Our kids, Emily and Jake, were devastated. Emily stopped talking to Sarah for months. Jake tried to stay neutral, but I could see the hurt in his eyes. The social fallout was brutal. Our friends picked sides. Most chose me, but a few drifted away, uncomfortable with the drama. Sarah's colleagues at Kellerman & Sons found out, and Michael was quietly let go. I don't know if it was because of the affair or because I sent an anonymous tip to the firm's HR about unprofessional conduct. I'll let you decide. Financially, it's been a nightmare. Splitting assets, alimony talks, selling the house we raised our kids in. It's like dismantling a life piece by piece. I moved into a small apartment downtown, just me and Murphy. The silence is deafening sometimes. I didn't want revenge at first. I just wanted to stop hurting. But then I found out Sarah was still seeing Michael. She'd moved into a condo with him, acting like they were some tragic love story. That's when I decided I wasn't going to let her walk away unscathed. I didn't do anything illegal, no slashed tires or public shaming. Instead, I sent the burner phone texts and photos to her parents, her sister, and her best friend. I didn't say a word, just let the evidence speak. Her family cut her off. Her best friend, Lisa, called me crying, saying she couldn't believe Sarah had lied to her too. The real twist came a month later. I got a call from a woman named Amanda, Michael's ex-girlfriend. Turns out he'd been cheating on her with Sarah too. Amanda and I met for coffee and she showed me proof, more texts, more lies. We teamed up, sent everything to Michael's new employer. He was fired within a week. As for me, I'm not healed, not even close, but I'm trying. I started therapy, joined a gym, even went on a few awkward dates. The pain's still there, like a bruise that won't fade, but I'm learning to live with it. Sarah and Michael are still together, last I heard, but I don't care anymore. I'm done letting their choices define me. So Reddit, that's my story. I don't know if I did the right thing exposing them like that. Maybe it was petty, maybe it was justice. All I know is I'm finally starting to feel like myself again, one slow, painful step at a time. What would you have done?